We are now recording.
Okay, so I'd like to call the Dover Select Board meeting to order at 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday, March 16th. Welcome, everybody. Do we have any public comments or any additions or deletions to the agenda? I see Randy waving frantically.
I do. I would like to bring up again the body camera that you guys approved a few months ago, only because yesterday I ended up getting a new quote and it's a little bit different than what we talked about a few months ago. So I'd like that added to the agenda if I can.
Okay, so we'll put that down under police after your FYI, okay?
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Anything else? Okay, great. Hearing none, we'll move on to new business, which is the annual school district meeting. Who wants to speak to this? Andy, welcome.
Hi. So the school district has decided to hold their meeting. It's the year to have it in Wardsboro on the same day as Wardsboro's town meeting, which is May, gosh, it's the Saturday after our meeting, May 22nd. So in the Articles of Agreement for the school district, what I guess you'd call the Board of Civil Authority for the school district is made up of the select boards of both towns. And so we need to have a meeting to do a couple of house cleaning things. One would be to authorize the use of the tabulator for the Australian ballot election of officers that day, and a couple other very small things. But you guys and the Wardsboro Select Board have to come together as that board, the River Valleys BCA, at some point. And so I'm going to their select board meeting tonight after this one to tell them the same thing. Jackie, the town clerk in Wardsboro, and I have been talking. She thinks that, and I think that a good date would be the Wardsboro Select Board will meet on the 30th of March. So not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after. And if you guys could attend their meeting a little early, probably 6:30. They do it on what do they do it on? It's not Zoom, it's GoToMeeting. It's easy to join. I hadn't done it on this computer before and I just downloaded it and it works like this. So I wanted to run that by you and see if you folks were amenable to calling in on the 30th, Tuesday the 30th, to meet as one board with the Wardsboro Select Board to do a little business around the election for the school board in May.
Andy, I don't remember us ever having to meet in that body before to be the Board of Civil Authority for the River Valleys. I don't remember. I don't recall anything.
Nope, you wouldn't. We've never met, and there's never been a need for us to meet. There's never been any decisions to make. There's never been anything you needed to do.
I just wanted to make sure I was remembering that correctly.
Yes.
So what time did you say that would be? At 6 or 6?
6:30, and that's tentative. We're going to talk to the Wardsboro Select Board tonight, right. But Jackie seemed to think they meet at 7, so maybe if that board meets at 6:30, it would be a good time to meet.
Does anybody on the board have any comments, or we basically have to have 3 people, right? We just have to have the majority of the board.
I would say, yeah.
It is our off Tuesday because we have 2 Tuesdays off coming. So it sounds like a short meeting as well.
Yeah.
So Sarah says she's up for it. Anybody else?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could
Already
probably
on my calendar.
go back up and
it sounds like the majority of the board will be able to
Excellent.
attend.
Fantastic.
You'll let us know and send us the meeting
Yep,
credentials?
I will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have them send it to us? Okay, great.
Mhm.
Thank you, Andy.
Perfect.
Any-
Well, thank
anything
you,
else on
folks.
that? So
Mhm.
the meeting on May 22nd, is that going to be at 10 or what time will that be?
One of the things we're going to discuss with their select board tonight is when we might meet as a school board. Initially, Jackie and I had talked maybe the morning would be best, have the school board meeting at 10, have the school annual meeting at 10, and then their town meeting following that after lunch or some such thing.
Okay, great. Everybody good with that?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Andy.
All right, thanks, folks.
Now we have discussion and planning to resume in-person select board meetings. And as a sub item is pre-town meeting in person or via Zoom, or maybe via a hybrid. I don't know. I asked Jeanette to put this on. If we're gonna do, in my mind, if we're gonna do an in-person town meeting, we need to start getting back to in-person meetings. And I was hoping we could target maybe the second meeting in April, the 20th, as a potential goal to try to do a meeting. And we're gonna have to deal with our audio video issues. So I need to defer to some other people on that. And Tabby, I'll get you in 1 second. The first thing is, how does the rest of the board feel about going back to in-person meetings?
Good.
I'm
I like
for
the
it.
convenience of this, but I think it's important that we get back.
Joe, are you there?
Yep, he's muted.
I am here. Yep, that's fine. We could try. See what
Okay.
see what the rules and regulations are by April 20th.
Okay, so we need to improve the quality of the product we were offering to the public. So Tabby had her hand up, and so I'll let her to speak. You're muted, Tabby.
I don't see a difficulty with going to an in-person meeting, but the question is, do we still want to maintain a hybrid, which is running Zoom and in-person together to allow those people who can't come or who are not comfortable to partake of the meeting? And the primary question is location. If we do a meeting here at the town offices, we have the bandwidth and technology to make things work much smoother than they were when we did it at town hall. If we're going to look at doing meetings at the town hall, there's some stuff that we will need to do to make that work better, and it will most likely involve some funding, both in increasing or changing how we're running bandwidth. If we do need to run fiber there, if we do need to change camera setup, I mean, I can do a fair amount of some test running, but I'm comfortable with we'll be able to do what we want to do here at the town office. But then, you know, my whole question is, where do we want to hold the meeting?
Well, that is a good question. The town office, it will limit us to the amount of people who can actually be in the conference room,
True.
much more than it will at the town hall. Now, there's been a lot of activity by consolidated people running wires and working in the box at the common. I don't know what's going on with that.
They have a couple of different things going on, not that many of which are directly related to us. We've already sort of updated our minimum DSL. We could run fiber to the town hall either through consolidated, or I'm going to reach back out to Duncan to see if they're ready to actually talk about doing that, because the costs might be considerably different. So, you know, with your permission, I'll reach out, get re-quote on that, because the connectivity at the town hall is our #1 issue in getting a quality meeting going. And then secondarily is how we're getting cameras facing multiple angles and microphone pickups and all of that. So it's not just the bandwidth,
Mhm.
but if each board member is sitting with a laptop in front of them and then we face cameras to the audience, that might work better than trying to capture the entire board in one camera, etc. So there's a couple of different things that we can work with and play with that. But I think first and foremost, let me bring the board back some quotes on getting fiber to the town hall.
And we would also need, I think, an estimate of when that could be done, because if it's going to be the fall, that's not going to be very useful for us.
Exactly, exactly.
So if they could give you a timeline as well.
Now, one thing that we do have the advantage of in holding a meeting here at the town offices is, yes, we cannot fit as many people physically in the room, but if we're doing a fully hybrid Zoom, only people who really need to be physically there might need to be there. People who are comfortable working in a digital format, the whole room will be able to see those people who are appearing via Zoom.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
we may start with one, switch to the other if there's a time frame in getting the town hall up and running. But let me reach out and get some assorted numbers and get back to you on that.
Anybody else have anything to say about that? Jeanette?
Yeah, Tabby and I were talking about it earlier. I think, well, I can't speak for her, but I think we were both in favor of trying it at the town office and doing like a test run and see how it goes. You know, even with a few board members present and the big screen that she has and seeing how it works before we try to go back to the town hall, because I'm really dreading that.
I understand. I think that we can, as long as we're able to be nimble and move around and figure out what's working best, and Tabby needs to get some information, she may not get that right away, that maybe, let's get that information and get it out to people sooner than later. Tabby, as soon as you get anything,
Yeah.
send it to Jeanette, and so that we can all get it, so we can make the decision, because for the first meeting. Sarah.
Based on the current directives, how many people are we allowed to put in that room?
In the
Which,
office?
In the upstairs, our normal meeting room.
at one point I did a seat count and spacing, but let me double check that. I don't know if we're limited to 50% or if we have a hard number. Let me pull the square footage and get that figured out.
Okay. Because that's also, I mean, if we can accommodate the board plus 4 or 5 people, that's almost what we have on a regular basis anyway.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah.
We could even let Jeanette be down in her own office and Zoom in from there. And stay away from all of us.
We threw her out
Or
already.
she could,
Jeanette?
or she could
She
just
could
stay
do
home.
that too.
Right.
But I was thinking, I mean, for extra, if, you know, if people really need to be there, if they have something to present, they can be upstairs. But then, you know, we also have the downstairs. People could wait down there and come up as they're needed, or,
Sure.
Right.
you know.
There's a lot of possibilities, but I think that we need to start planning for what we're gonna do and try to get it in motion. Yes, Sarah.
Do we, and I apologize for not being up on this, but is the state giving direction now about how many people can be in the same room if they've all been vaccinated?
I don't think so.
Because we're starting, you know, reaching the point where we're going to have enough vaccinated people that might be, I mean, I've gotten my first already.
Me too.
And I know
I'm
Randy's
finished.
got up.
I haven't. I can't get anything. So it's still gonna be a bit, I think.
Okay.
But we should get all that information pulled together, whatever we can find. Kevin, did you have a question?
Yeah, I was just curious. It's not mandatory that we have to continue with Zoom, is it?
No, it's not. It obviously, it allows people to attend meetings who haven't been regular attendees at physical meetings. And until we get really very comfortable with the pandemic, I think that it's something we should continue to do. We should be able to let people know what's going on and let them attend whatever for what. And if they have reasons that they don't feel comfortable being in the room, I think that that's fair. But I think I mean, we're going to do an in-person town meeting, so that will be a big test run.
So,
I was gonna, yes.
so are we going to have to do Zoom meetings for the trail committees, the planning commission and everything? Or are we just talking select board for Zoom?
Our meetings, this is the select board meeting and we are Zooming right now. This is I think that, does everybody want to continue Zooming in this kind of fringe period in between hopefully being over the pandemic or at the other side of the pandemic?
I really like the accessibility it gives other people. I think it, maybe the board doesn't need to Zoom, but, or people who are presenting, but for people, the average citizen to be able to attend the Zoom meeting, people don't have to be worried about their health or, any concerns like that. So I would very much like to keep it going.
Scott?
Yeah, I mean, it's 2021, like I feel like unless it's some ridiculous effort to try and have the Zoom, if it's gonna make it more accessible, more people can come, let's keep the Zoom, but hey, let's get in person, especially maybe the core of the board, have some other people. I think that original point, that was just like bring us in there and get us going, that'd be great. And keep the Zoom, because unless it's some extraordinary effort, which I don't think it is.
Eric?
Hybrid.
So my only point here was that we have had positive feedback from people being able to access the recordings of the meetings after the fact. So even if it wasn't Zoom, like even just, I don't know, even a cell phone recording of the meeting that could be uploaded to YouTube or something like that. Like we have been getting the positive feedback from that, and somebody is watching those videos. I can't tell who. So if we could keep that going, whether it's through, still doing them through Zoom or even just recording them some other way, I think that that's been important. It could be important as well. And it just makes the entire process seem more it's another level of transparency.
Anything else on this particular part of the question? So I think that I think that for a pre-town meeting, I think we should try to do a hybrid model. If we're meeting in person by then, we should certainly meet as a board, and that probably we would want to do in a bigger venue, so probably the town hall. And again, that's May 11th would be the pre-town meeting. So if we can make that a goal to try to do a hybrid at the town hall for that night.
On May 11th.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, Sarah.
Should we ask Mount Snow if we can do pre-town meeting at Corinthia?
Pre-town meeting isn't usually a very well-attended meeting.
Right.
And if
But
we
it
have
would-
the Zoom as well, if we can do it at the town hall.
I mean, I just think it also gives us kind of a trial run opportunity before
I'm not-
town meeting.
It's going to be in the evening.
Mhm.
I don't know. Let's think about that. I don't want to ask Mount Snow to do too much. I mean, then they would have to have staff there on a Tuesday night in May when they probably wouldn't have staff.
Right.
I don't want to say, I wouldn't want to make that final decision. Let's see what we can do with the town hall. But that's a good idea. I think we should keep that in the back of our minds too. What else? Anything else on this from anybody? Okay. Tabby, thank you for doing some investigation. We'll see what we can do. The next thing is to sign the annual certificate of highway mileage. As it says, we do this every year. Do we, Travis? Can you unmute?
Yep,
Are there any changes to this from last year?
no.
You'll notice there's a box that's checked at
Mhm.
the bottom. that says there's no changes.
So we're gonna need a motion to sign this, and we'll have Jeanette sign on behalf of the board, which is another nice thing. If we go back to having real meetings, we can actually sign these things.
I'm getting good at it, though.
I make a motion that we authorize Jeanette to sign the annual certificate of highway mileage
Second.
Second,
On behalf of the board.
on behalf of the board.
And
we'll
second
second.
was Joe.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Okay. Next, we're moving on to the assessor's office. We're going to consider hiring a commercial appraiser consultant. Linda.
Hi. So what I had sent you was the first part basically covered the expenditure point that I don't have in front of me. I have the contract. And I don't know if Linda Kirsten hopped on.
She
Did
did.
Was here. She's here.
Yay. Hi.
I'm here.
Okay. So my feeling is Linda has years of experience in appraisal of residential and commercial. I'm looking for some help on the commercial part and possibly some on residential as well. So what I outlined was the temporary position, 16 weeks, 20, did I say 20 hours a week?
Yes.
Up to 20 hours a week at $40 per hour. So I don't know if you have questions for Linda. We're gonna have to come up with a way to tell us apart. I could be Lynn. I've been referred to as Lynn, which is fine.
LS and LK.
A lot of people just call me Kirsten. It's fine.
Kirsten.
So tell us about the contract and why you just sent us a new one, Linda.
Okay, so there was that I have in front of me. So the revised included the section on insurance. Linda is working on obtaining liability insurance, which would cover her when we're out in the field. Jeanette had reached out to VLCT and we were both confused after reading their responses. If sounds like Linda's willing to do this, to me, it seems like the easier way to go. Seeing how this is a temporary position. So I added trying to find it, the insurance piece back in, basically stating that it would be provided upon receipt when she receives that confirmation. I cleaned up a couple of wordy things in this as well, but that was the main change that I made, adding that in.
Okay, Linda, Kirsten.
Yeah, Kirsten. Kirsten, just call me Kirsten. It's fine. There was some wording, I think, that needs to be changed in the contract a little bit in the second paragraph. Under compensation mileage reimbursement, the last sentence reads, the contract consultant shall invoice the town, that's fine. And upon receipt and approval of the invoice, shall pay the invoice. It sounds like consultant gets to pay the invoice. It really should say at that point, the town shall pay the invoice within 15 days of receipt.
Oh, the town.
The town
Oh.
shall pay the invoice within 15 days of receipt.
Okay, yeah, I questioned taking that out altogether because it would follow within the next pay period.
Yeah, that's up to you. I mean,
Okay, yeah,
it seems, you know,
I think we pay our bills pretty promptly.
I think you do.
Okay, so I don't think,
That's been my experience.
so I,
That's something. Just a clarification too on the insurance. It's a general liability policy. It doesn't cover, it covers me not only when I'm out and about with
Right.
Linda, but basically everything that I do. So, you know, whatever I'm touching, you know, in the office and doing, it's covered under that general liability policy. It would be through the Hartford. They wanted to confirm with me today, and I told them, put it off one day until after this meeting. I wasn't going to pay, didn't want to pay for something I wasn't going to need.
Right.
So tomorrow I will, if you approve me, you know, tomorrow I will have it and I will get the binder to you. AP.
okay, thank you. Are there any questions about the position, the contract, or any questions of Linda by any of the board? Yes, Sarah.
Are we under any legal obligations to post the job and open it to other people?
Can I speak to that?
Yes, you may.
I'm not aware that we're legally obligated. I don't know. I guess I was thinking because this is more of a specialized and temporary position. So
No, I understand that, and I'm not disputing that she would be a good candidate. I'm just wondering if we're going to hear back from somebody like, you never made this position available. And you had a legal obligation to do so. I'm just asking that question.
Okay, I don't have an answer for that. I don't know. If it's,
Well, this is a consultant. It's not an employee, a full-time employee or a part-time employee.
Right.
Yes, Jeanette.
I was gonna say, did we advertise when we hired Jeremiah?
no,
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 I don't
no, we
think so.
didn't.
no.
So,
we
And
did
this is
not.
a set employment period.
and it, yeah, it's just very, almost like a seasonal worker.
And you have to have a set of qualifications that probably not many people have in the Valley or in Dover.
Mhm.
And I think that bringing Linda in, who has very close knowledge of a lot of the buildings and the properties, and then just local knowledge will make it easier than for somebody coming in cold.
I'm not
Right, and-
disputing that at all, and I'm not saying that she wouldn't be the person that would end up being chosen. I'm asking strictly from a legal perspective. Are we going to put ourselves in any jeopardy if we don't advertise the job?
I will,
Not to
Well,
my knowledge.
well, Joe, would you like to say something?
sorry.
Yeah, not to my knowledge. I don't think that's a situation that we need to be concerned with. Again, it's a specialized position. There's not like there's a lot of people that do what Linda can do. So I would say not.
I also do not believe that when we hired Jeremiah, which was a much longer term contract, that we advertised.
That was
You did
before
not.
my time, so I
Yeah, we did not.
don't know anything. Okay,
Any other questions from the board?
Nope.
The public? Is there anybody who has a question? I'm seeing nothing. So, would somebody like to make a motion to hire Linda Kirsten as the temporary commercial appraiser consultant at $40 an hour for 20 hours a week for 16 weeks?
I make a motion that we hire Linda Kirsten as the contract assistant to the lister for appraisal, for commercial appraisal, primarily commercial appraisals, at a rate of $40 per hour, not to exceed 20 hours per week and not to exceed 16 weeks.
Second.
Joe seconds. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
And then, I'll sign this contract on just the select board chair, but we need a few changes. So Linda, can you get us the corrected contract so I can sign it, send it to me?
Yeah.
With the changes that we just talked about, and then I'll send it over to Jeanette right away, and then you guys can sign it,
Okay,
okay?
yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda, for coming.
Thank you.
Welcome to the
Yes.
board.
Yeah.
A new consulting job.
I'm back again. Back again in the lister's office. Here we go. Yes.
Okay, police department. First, we're having the update on the Capitol building project. Randy.
So on the recommendation from my liaison, Sarah, through Shelley, in the 2021 budget, we have $14,000 for replacing the lights and the ceiling tile. Shelley had reached out to Sarah, and Sarah said that, can't read my writing, Efficiency Vermont is going around to look at all town buildings for recommendations.
Mhm.
So at this point, we're going to hold off doing that lights and the ceiling based on their recommendation. So I guess depending on how quick that all gets done and we can get somebody in there, this project that was for 2021 may be 21, 22.
That's fine. It's just capital, but it's capital. It's still
Okay.
going to sit there. It won't be expended. The project just happens when it's happening. It's going to happen, and the sooner the better, but
Okay.
And the other thing that Shelley mentioned was she's been contacting electricians, and there are several that aren't even taking on new accounts at this point because they're so backed up.
Right.
So.
and I have a new electrician to the valley who's advertising this week's paper.
Oh, boy.
So
There we go. I guess when we put it up to bids, they'll do
opportunity.
that.
Yeah, I hear that the electricians are pretty busy in the valley. So,
A lot of everybody
So.
is.
okay, that sounds like a very good idea, Randy, to incorporate Efficiencies of Vermont's expertise.
That was my liaison and Shelley, so they did good.
Okay, next you
Roll
want
call.
to talk about the body cameras, and this is the addition to the agenda.
Right. So back, and I can't remember exactly when, I'm going to say maybe November, December. I mentioned to you guys that our body cameras are pretty well shot. They're in, need of repair. So long story short, since I'm not using money that was in the budget for that $18,000 or whatever it was, Morpho track, the fingerprint and stuff,
Right.
that you guys said I could use money out of that to do the body cameras. And back then, the quote we had gotten, which was, had been expired, but it was for $8,290. And the board said that they thought that, the company would still stick with that. Well, the company was very slow, things change, and things did change. And just finally, because we've been going back and forth, I won't bore you with all the gory details, but the new price went up, and it's $9,313.75. So it went up just what, maybe about $1,020 from what the previous quote was that you guys had said, to buy them for. We're like roughly $1,300 of that is in like software and software updates, because now it's going to be combined with our cruiser cameras as well. And that $1,300 is going to be something that in the future is going to have to be put in my budget. But we're all set for this year. So I'm just keeping you guys updated. So it did go up $1,000, up to the 93.13. You guys said 82. That was my limit. But remember that once I get these done and pay that initial bill, I can submit this through VLC VLC, their passive grant, and I can get 50% back. So when all said and done is it'll be for $4,656.88. So since you said the initial approval was for $82.90, I didn't know if you wanted me to bring this back up because of the new price. Said not to spend more than that, which in the long run, I'm really not. Once we get reimbursed, it's only $46.56. So throwing that out there to see what you guys wanted to do, just have me go with the new bid and we're going to get reimbursed. But I mean, they got it as low as they can for what we need. So.
Randy, how long is this bid
Yes.
good for? Does it expire tonight, or is it good? The bid you're
No.
holding in your hand?
I have it right here and it expires on May 11th.
All right.
So,
My feeling is we should make a motion, make a motion to approve the higher rate that you're going to expend. So it's on the record that we approve that.
okay.
So that number was $9,313 and
75 cents.
75 cents. Does somebody want to make that motion, or do we want to talk more about this? Sarah?
Make a motion that we approve an expenditure of $9,313.75 for body cameras and software for the Dover Police Department.
Second,
Okay.
And now we can have a discussion.
I think that we don't want to approve 2 sets of body cameras, but we want to amend our original expenditure of $8,200. Do you have that number, Randy?
I do. It was 8,290.
I withdraw my motion.
Who seconded?
Dan did.
Dan,
I
can you
did.
withdraw? Okay, Sarah,
I
you want to
withdraw
make
my second.
So I make a motion that we amend our original expected expenditure of $8,290 for body cameras and revise the amount to $9,313.75.
Second,
anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
I didn't hear Joe.
Aye.
Thank you, Joe. Is that it for the police department?
It is. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have the highway department to look at new truck chassis. Travis.
Yes. I'd like the
Hello.
board, I'd like the board to consider if they would to allow me to order the chassis for the new 10-wheeler.
Okay, I had to get my piece of paper in front of me properly.
That's fine.
Jeanette,
I was gonna say, Travis, tell them that you don't have to spend any money right now, though.
That is true. They're just looking for a signature right now to place an order on the chassis of our choice. I don't need money now, you know.
so this will come out of the 2022 fiscal year.
Yeah, it'll be the
Right.
upcoming, it'll be for the upcoming budget. Yep.
So which one of these, everybody have this pricing?
Mhm.
Which one of these do you want to buy?
We know what we're getting with the Mac because we have quite a fleet of Macs. I'm okay with saving some dollars this year and getting the Western Star as well. The truck that we're replacing is a Western Star and it's been okay for us. We have 2 of those as well. So, I'm fine with either one.
What year is that, Travis?
The truck that's going is a 2015.
Okay. Sarah, did you have a question?
Do you have repair histories on the Western Star and the Mac? Is there one that's going to be more reliable in your opinion?
I don't have, I know what we've done to the Western Stars and I know a lot of what we've done to the Macs, and as far as repair, the Macs have treated us pretty well. We know, like I said, we know what we're getting when we get the Mac. We have had good reliability. So, yeah, I'm fine with either one. They're both
For a
served us-
$7,000 difference.
right. They've
If
both
we're-
served us well. I mean, last year we went with the Mac and I believe it was 14,000 more,
Yeah.
Travis, is there anything that makes it easier if you just have one manufacturer in terms of
Absolutely.
parts or knowledge and being able to do stuff
Yeah.
in-house?
Yeah, that makes my life easier. I don't have to go out and talk to a bunch of salesmen. I can just, keep an updated on what this truck would cost us and, bring it forth to the board.
Dan,
What about switching plows and stuff? Isn't it better to be one brand of truck, or every new model is another ballgame?
There, I have a spec of how the truck gets built. So each truck is very similar. They're almost all identical, just different manufacturers. There are only a few items on each truck that are different only because of the manufacturer doesn't offer that option or something that we want.
Mhm.
Other than that, to outfit the truck with the snowplow equipment like you had asked is no problem. The truck builders don't have any issues with either manufacturer.
Okay.
I see Joe has unmuted. I suspect he wants to say something.
No, I'm just, I know that we talked to Bobby and he wasn't having luck with the Western Stars, but now you're saying that they're all right.
I
And
mean,
I also see that the Mac is getting delivered later. That doesn't
Yes.
affect our trade-in at all, does it? They'll stick to the 70,000 trade-in or whatever?
they will stick to that, correct?
Okay.
Yep, if I'm able to place the order for that, yes. And
Okay.
I don't mean
Sounds
to
like you-
throw another monkey wrench into the mix either, but the company that I've been in contact with on the snowplow equipment, they just called me since I sent you guys this truck stuff. Because I also got numbers from them, but I wanted to do it at a later date with you guys. But I figured I'd mention it now. They're looking at an increase on steel and everything for our plows and dump bodies of going up 7.5%
Ouch.
in April. So if I can place that order as well, they said the same thing. They just need a signature saying, yeah, you can order the dump body, and they're months away anyways. They don't need anything until after they get the chassis. So,
Right.
So get us those rates.
I mean,
ASAP.
I can read them out to you now because there's only 2 of them.
We can't do it at this meeting.
It's not.
Okay.
It's not warned. So,
Okay.
yeah, and we don't meet again till the April 6th, I think. So we are
That'll be
meeting
too
with the
late.
Wardsboro Select Board on the 20 something,
30th.
30th of March. Maybe we can somehow, or we can do something special. I mean, that's a very quick meeting.
Yeah,
So get that out and maybe we'll just schedule a one item quick meeting because we don't want to pay extra money if we don't have to.
yeah, because it on say $75,000, it's an extra $6,000.
Yeah, we'll do what we have to do. So get that stuff
Okay.
to Jeanette so she can get it out to us and
Yep.
we will figure a special
Yep.
Zoom select board meeting.
Yep. Okay.
Probably we could do it even during the day sometime.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be great.
All right, so let's get back to the chassis. Do we have any other board questions about the purchase of a chassis? Scott? Wait.
Yeah, the arrival date between like the Mac and the Western Star, that's not playing a factor into it.
The arrival
Like,
dates,
which one you would
I
go
mean, because that's just the chassis. So what will happen is after I get the chassis, it'll then spend 4 more months at the body company. So if you went with the Mac, you probably wouldn't see it until next spring when we're going through this all again for the next year's truck.
How
Is
does
that going to be
play out for you?
acceptable?
I mean, that if you went with the Western Star, he can have the chassis in July and the body company will be on building it. We could have the truck in November of this year. So
You need to tell us if that's something that
Yeah,
you need
game
to have.
changer.
I would like you guys had pointed out, we spend the extra money and have the reliability of the Mac, even though it puts us behind on, needing the truck. I guess that's a risk we'll have to take if that's what we want to do.
Sarah?
What would it do for you to go through the winter without that truck?
It could be costly and on the truck that's being traded. I mean, I'm gonna have to maintain it until they take it and trade,
So
and this year it has broke down more than once. It's left us hanging. Thank gosh.
You can't let go of that truck until you have its replacement, right?
Right.
You're not going to be able to
That
go
spare
through
truck is already being used quite regular. That old Mac that we kept is being used on the main lines right now. So
yeah.
So with all that in mind, you still would prefer to buy the Mac?
I think we should go with the Western Star this year, just because we can get it. We have one. Parts are close. They've warrantied quite a bit on the 2 Western Stars we do have. They took care of us, I think we should get the truck so we can have the truck and save a few dollars now.
Dan?
The Western Star you're trading in, what year is that?
2015.
Same thing.
Yep, same thing. Yep.
Anything else? So Travis is our road commissioner and he has made the comment that he thinks that we should go with the Western Star this year. And so I have to defer to his experience and knowledge. And it also does save us some money, but that's not the main consideration, I don't think.
Right.
So
Correct.
does somebody want to make a motion about purchasing a truck chassis?
I make a motion that we purchase the Western Star for $141,000 with a trade allowance of $70,000 with a purchase price of $71,000.
Second,
Sarah seconds. Anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you, Travis.
Thank you. And I'll get those numbers on the snowplow equipment out to you guys ASAP.
And we'll figure something out.
All right. Yes, thank you.
All right,
Thanks,
great.
Travis.
Thank you. All right, now we're moving to the Economic Development Department and the Bytown Marketing 2021 Strategic Plan, 1% local option tax request. That's a short one.
Yeah, try to make it longer for you next time, Vicki. So Jeanette sent you guys the document here, and Gretchen is also here from Wilmington, and Shannon is also a part of the Bytown Marketing Committee. So we're all here to talk to you about this plan for this year. So this budget is based loosely on what was provided to us by Charette when they presented to us on what our plan should be for the next 5 years. Okay, so what we did is went into year one, and knowing the size and capabilities of our 1% right now, kind of made some adjustments that make this make more sense for Dover and Wilmington. I think Charette gave us some really great ideas. I think they may have overshot a little bit on some of the budgeting pieces. So the original first year budget from Charette was intended to be $161,000 for 2021. Okay, we've settled on a number at 96.5, which would give the Dover share, make the Dover share $48,250. The important thing to realize about the money for 2021 is there is not, in fact, advertising occurring in 2021. This is to get everything set up for advertising in 2022 when things have finally really opened back up. There is some brief descriptions underneath of kind of how this budget breaks down. You can see there are some monies left over from what we were approved for last year, so those are also taken into account in this year's budget. Does anyone have any questions on the budget for myself or Shannon or Gretchen, or the plan?
Can I ask this of Gretchen? Did Wilmington approve their half of it tonight?
Yes, they did.
Thank you.
They did make it in contingents on your acceptance as well.
Of course.
And just a note, Tim Dolan is on too, so.
Oh, sorry, Tim.
Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody in the public realm have a question? Everybody in the public's been very quiet tonight.
Yeah.
Yes, Eric.
I would like to just make one more point. In some of my conversations with a number of our board members, there is a concern about the subsequent years and what the spending looks like as we move a little further onto this and start adding in more things. Tentatively, we looked at okay, what's it look like next year with the advertising added to it. And we were actually able to cut that budget down from almost $200,000 down to $152 for next year. So to be completely honest with you, next to the select boards, there's nobody as cognizant of the funds availability in our 1% as Gretchen and I, right? I mean, we're not going to sit here and ask you guys to spend money. I mean, we know about all the other important things that this fund does, right? So we don't want to see it depleted on this one project. And moving forward with this project from year to year, it is not our goal to just, if the funds are available, then we'll use them as we can to help with the marketing of our valley. But that being said, we are not absolutely married to what Charette presented to us. So, you're not looking at a price tag of necessarily of $273,000 in year 5 for marketing. So I know that was a concern. But it's something that we'll be addressing on a year-to-year basis to make sure that we're fitting within the realm of what's available in our 1% funds.
Does anybody have anything to say?
Thank you for adding that, Eric.
Yeah.
All right,
No.
so would somebody like to make an emotion?
Quiet group.
Well, I'll make the motion if nobody else will, but I'm on the Bytown committee. I really would prefer somebody else to make the motion.
All right, I make a motion that we approve the plan as presented. Plan and budget as presented for the Bytown marketing.
With the Dover share being $48,250.
What Vicky said.
Second,
Thank you, Dan. Everybody's still quiet, so all in favor, say aye.
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 There we go.
Thank you, guys.
Tell Wilmington we're
Thank you.
happy that they also voted in favor of this. Okay, we're gonna go into the Board of Liquor Control.
Make a motion that we go into the Board of Liquor Control.
Second,
Dan, second. Okay, so we have first and third class liquor licenses. Oh, boy. So we have the KPLC, the Westover Inn. Should we do, hold on, let me back up a minute. Randy, do we have any that I should pull out separately of this list?
No, you're all set.
Okay. So first and third class licenses, KPLC. Did you have a question?
I was just going to read it off as a motion.
The whole thing, the first
Yeah.
and third? Okay. And
Okay.
then we'll do the outside consumption and the seconds.
Right.
Jeanette first.
I'm sorry. I just realized that I have the Hermitage Inn on there twice in
Oh, I
both
see it.
the
Okay.
first two lists.
So I'll skip K.
I doubled them up, but it's
K's
just one.
out.
They get extra permit.
Yeah.
yeah.
Actually, the new owner, Timothy Hall, is on the Zoom with us. So
Hello, Timothy.
welcome.
And then
Hello there.
down under outside, I see it's on there twice too.
Yes, yep. And those first two under A and B, it's on there twice. That's my mistake.
So H goes on the next one, Sarah.
Overzealous, I guess.
I'm sorry, H.
H on the yes.
Oh, I see. Oh,
outside
it goes
consumption.
down to a second page. I didn't see
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
So I make a motion that we approve the first and third class licenses as follows. KPLC Inc. DBA The Westover Inn, Hermitage Inn Vermont LLC DBA The Hermitage Inn, Southern Vermont Hospitality LLC DBA Last Chair Bar and Grill, Mount Snow Limited DBA Fairways, Mount Snow Limited DBA Bullwheel, Mount Snow Limited DBA Harriman's, Mount Snow Limited DBA Sundance Lodge, Mount Snow Limited DBA Snow Barn, Mount Snow Limited DBA Corinthia Base Lodge, Mount Snow Limited DBA Cousins, Handlebar Hospitality LLC DBA Valley View Saloon, and 1MT LLC DBA Dover Forge.
I need a second.
Second,
Dan, second. Any discussion? Tabby?
No, just Vicky, I see that Jessica's got her hand raised. I don't know if it's on this or not, so.
Okay, let me see what, yes, Jessica?
Yeah, I know. I was raising my hand from before. I was just gonna make a comment about, I was gonna ask if you had to sign a 5-year contract about the marketing thing, or if you could do it year by year, depending on how it was going.
I'm pretty sure it's year by year. In fact, I'm positive it's year by year. It's our own deal.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, I missed you.
That's okay, thank
Okay,
you.
so now that was, okay.
Previous business.
See, we're in the Board of Liquor Control, which is a completely different body now. Sorry, I missed you, Jessica. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. No discussion about the liquor licenses, the first and third. All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Aye. And unanimous?
Aye.
Okay, keep going, Sahara.
And then I have, I'll make a motion to approve the outside consumption permits as follows. KPLC DBA or Inc. DBA The Westover Inn, Hermitage Inn Vermont LLC DBA The Hermitage Inn, Southern Vermont Hospitality LLC DBA Last Chair Bar and Grill, Mount Snow Limited DBA Harriman's, Mount Snow Limited DBA Sundance Lodge, Mount Snow Limited DBA Corinthia Base Lodge, Mount Snow Limited DBA Cousins, Handlebar Hospitality LLC DBA Valley View Saloon, and 1MT LLC DBA Dover Forge.
Second.
Dan, second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous.
Right, and that I make a motion that we approve the second class licenses as follows. Friar Realty Vermont LLC DBA Ecotique, Mount Snow Limited, Hermitage Inn Vermont LLC DBA The Hermitage Inn.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Make a motion to come out of the Board of Liquor Control.
I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So, Mr. Hall, you must have just, when did you close on the Hermitage? Welcome and
We close on April 1st.
Oh,
close on April 1st.
Yeah, so we're excited.
That's great.
We're gonna do some
Great.
renovations and then hopefully open by July 1st.
Great. Well,
We're excited.
welcome. And I'm sure
aboard.
you'll get to know our Economic Development Department quite well.
Yep, we have a home here on Haynes Road in Wilmington. We've been here, we're gonna retire here, so this is our retirement job.
The hardest job you'll ever have, right?
Yeah,
So,
I just wanted to say hello.
all right, thank you.
so the lift will now be available for the members to go down to the Hermitage Inn?
That's part of the agreement, yes. So next season, yep,
Good
Great.
idea.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, moving on to the consent agenda. We need to approve the minutes of March 2nd.
I move to approve the minutes of March 2nd.
Second.
Any changes or corrections? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Now we have the warrants of March 6th in the amount of $222,143.77.
I move to approve the warrants of March 6th for $222,143.77.
Second.
Any discussion about the warrants? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So here under FYI, we have the public meeting on the Dover Local Hazard Mitigation Plan, which is March 25th from 3 to 6, which is next Thursday, not this coming Thursday. And there's a survey to fill out. Also, Jeanette, on our next regular meeting, which is April 6th, can we have a joint meeting with the River Valley School Board to have an update from the Necrason group about our progress in the lobbying efforts with the waiting study and education finance?
Okay,
That'll be right before our regular meeting with River Valleys.
so at 6:30 or at 6?
At 6.
6,
At
okay.
6. Yes.
And they know someone's arranging that, or?
Rich suggested it, and we knew we wanted a meeting, and he suggested we go before there. That's before our meeting on the 6th.
Okay.
Do we have any liaison reports? Do we have anything else? Do we have an executive session needs? I am not aware of any. Okay. Jessica, you have your hand up again?
Yes, I just wanted to ask you about the pupil weighing study because I've been seeing a lot of stuff in the paper and there's been a big campaign towards this. I'm just curious, when it comes to what is the benefit to the town itself in the pupil weighing study? Do they somehow do they pay less or have less funds? Like, what is the benefits of this? I know they say equalization for students, but I'm saying besides that, what is the benefit in terms of financing? Is there some benefit to that? Why is there such a push towards it?
Well,
From
it
Dover.
appears- okay. For all schools across the state, they were originally weighted based on a few criteria, based on going back 20 years with Act 60. A weighting study was commissioned by the legislature and conducted by UVM, and they found out that the weighting that they had been using for the 20 years was not correct. It didn't value the students in rural districts, students of poverty, and students of English as a second language. So a lot of those school districts have been not been given enough money to successfully educate and give their students equal opportunities. So the weighting study has called this out, and it's, as with everything with education, they seem to think it's very complicated, and there's a lot of special interests. And so we hired a lobbying group to work on trying to move this forward. Now, it did move out of the Senate Education Committee last week on a vote of 6-0, so it may cross over, which is important. It's S13. It's a bit watered down, but ultimately, I think that if something doesn't happen, the River Valley School District is going to be in the penalty box this year for the first time ever.
So can I ask you to follow up on that? Like, so if they do get that change, they then would be owing less money. But then what do they do? How do they use that money to make it equal for kids that don't have anything?
It would.
Vicki, is this, I hate to interrupt, but is this really a select board issue? Shouldn't this be more of a school board question?
I was just asking because you were on the topic. I apologize. I didn't realize. I don't go to those
So
meetings. I was just
actually,
curious.
the town is the body that is paying for the lobbying group. So it's legitimate. And Jessica, I just was curious, what town are you actually a resident of? Because you were.
This whole valley means a lot to me. I mean, I thought it was a public meeting. I didn't know it was a private only for residents. But
I see you.
No, I live right now. Right now I live in Wilmington, but my kids were in Dover at the Dover school for the whole time I've lived here for the last week. So I'm interested in both towns. I care about the area. I kind of see it as one town, but I know they're separate, you know?
Okay.
So I apologize for imposing. I'm just trying to understand everything that's going on. I'm just trying to help.
It's very complicated, and I could talk about it for about an hour tonight, but maybe you would, if you want to come and listen on the 6th at 6 o'clock.
But I also write I try to, I also do like blogs and stuff. I guess, like, I'm not like you, a journalist, you know, where you have a newspaper, but I consider myself in that arena. So I like to know about what's going on in the different towns. That's what I was just curious as to why the state was so interested in this weighing thing. Thank you.
Well, our local representative is very interested, and it's her mission to get this corrected, and she's working very diligently on it. Okay. Are we all good?
We're good.
All right. And liaison reports, do we have any?
No.
Besides the Sarah and Shelley and Randy? Good job on that. So I'd like to adjourn the meeting at 7:39.
Good night.
Good night. Thank
All
you.
right.